Rugby World Rankings, folks, after one round of the Rugby Championship 2025, and we have a new team at number one. Well, it's a return to number one for the All Blacks. First time under Razor that the All Blacks have gone number one in the world. He apparently didn't even know this was a possibility, whether you believe him or not, but it shows you how much attention, if true, that the head coaches and whatnot pay to the Rugby World Rankings. Honestly, for the teams in 1 through 5 at the moment, it's probably not too relevant for them in terms of practical things. But certainly, we've talked about it many times, 6th spot is still very important because that is, in terms of the seedings for the next Rugby World Cup, the cutoff marker for whether you're a top seed or a second seed. The Wallabies, with their win over the Boks, have put some distance between themselves in that 6th spot to 7th. So their Rugby World Rankings in terms of being a top seeded team at the next World Cup is starting to look a bit more secure. But hey, there's still plenty of rugby to go. Let's see what the changes were and what the possible permutations are for the upcoming round. As I said, New Zealand go number one. They did take some points off the Pumas. They're up to 92.51. They've gone up just under half a point with that win. And Ireland are also up. It's one of those weird ones. People always question it when it happens. Hey, how did they move? They didn't even play. It happens a lot when the teams around them move. It happened, I seem to remember, when the Aussies were playing the British and Irish Lions, because the Argentinians lost to England. So the Wallabies went up because the British and Irish Lions aren't on the board. You don't take points from them. But the Argentinians losing sent the Wallabies up, and it seemed counterintuitive. It may seem counterintuitive that the Irish have gone up, but it's basically just because the Boks, with their loss to the Wallabies, have dropped below Ireland. So Ireland has no choice but to go up. So well done, Ireland. It's one of your turns, because everyone has a turn at doing this, apparently. Do nothing and win. So South Africa were massive favourites in that game against the Wallabies. They have lost a full 3 points with the loss to the Wallabies. It hurts more for them because it was 16 points, and 16 points is the cutoff marker as to whether you lose kind of a little or a lot, or you gain a little or a lot. If you win by 16, like the Wallabies did, you gain more than if you win by 15. So the Boks wouldn't have lost quite so much. They'd still be second if they had lost by a point less. But no, the 3-point deduction for the Boks sees them down into 3rd spot. France is still there in 4th. England is still there in 5th. And then the Wallabies, as I said, to go up 3 points is a mighty, mighty gain. So 85.08 for them. As I said, that does leave a bit of daylight between them and the Pumas, who are down on 81.60, losing 0.45 to the All Blacks. So that is how things changed for the Rugby Championship round 1. Scotland, Fiji, Italy, Georgia, and Wales would round out your kind of second seeds at the next World Cup draw if things were to remain as they are. So Wales in themselves are also in a pretty important position because they don't want to be in the 3rd row, because that would drop them down a further seeding with all the groups being 6 teams. Samoa, Japan, USA are here as well. Remember, these teams alongside Canada and Tonga will also be getting into action this weekend in the Pacific Nations Cup. So there will be certainly more drama to come in terms of world rankings changes in the next few weeks. What about the top sides, the Rugby Championship sides for the world rankings next week? You've probably heard me talk about world rankings before, that you can't take points off teams who you are more than 10 points ahead of. So the Boks, if they had beaten the Wallabies, would have taken nothing. You may look at this and go, hey, the All Blacks are on 92.51. The Pumas are on 81.60. That's more than 10. So the All Blacks surely can't take any points off the Pumas this week. So maybe the Boks can catch up. No, the All Blacks can still take points. And not because the All Blacks get special treatment, I promise. Just because the home side is going to be scored at +3. So for the rankings changing purposes, the Pumas will be scored at 84.60. So that brings it back within the margin of 10. So the All Blacks could potentially take some more points. Not much, like less than half a point. So not a massive game, but they still could potentially go up a little bit. And now that the Boks are closer with the Wallabies, remember the Boks will also be scored at +3. They are closer to the Wallabies now, seeing as they've exchanged 3 points each way. The Boks still can take some points off the Wallabies as well. Again, it's not going to be a heck of a lot, because at +3, the gap between the sides is still pretty hefty. It'll be less than half a point for them as well. There is still a chance for the Boks to go back number 1, though, if the Pumas were to beat the All Blacks by that 16-point or more margin, and the Boks get their win. They will get enough to go past Ireland, and the All Blacks would certainly drop below the Boks. So, yeah, if you're a South African fan, you want to get back to number 1 in the world, that's the kind of scenario that needs to happen. The Wallabies can obviously still take some points off the Boks if they were to do the double over the Boks over in Cape Town this time. They wouldn't be able to quite catch England, though, but it'd certainly make the top 6 look kind of all but locked up if the Wallabies could get some more points. But still, it is going to be a challenging one for them. And the Pumas, as I said, they may be written off for game 2, which is when I feel like they are most dangerous, could in themselves kind of take, you know, close to 2 points or around about 2 points if they beat the All Blacks. So don't write the Pumas off in the race for that 6th spot yet. Women's World Cup also starts this weekend. If you felt like the men's table is sometimes unfair, look at the women's rankings. England are on 97.76. And then the next closest team is 7 points behind them. So it's very, very, very difficult for England to take points because they are just so dominant in the women's game. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts. How fair or not do you think the rankings are? Can the All Blacks hold on to number 1 spot, or do you see them getting chased down by the Boks before the championship is over? Do you see the top 6 as pretty much locked in with these teams, or do you think one of these teams between now and those kind of end of those November tests falls away? You guys take care. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Check out the Patreon down in the description if you want to support. Take care, folks, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See ya.